That's right, episode 50 of the Rated RR podcast. I'm Ziaul Raushan, together with Rish Roshan Rai, and we are so grateful for all the support you've given us from episode 1 all the way up to 50. Rosh, how exciting has this journey been?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's been really encouraging to see the way the podcast has grown through the weeks. I mean, I remember when we first sort of started it, I don't think we'd expected that we'd be here now, just wanting to shine a light on the local game and the personalities. Really grateful for all the subscribers that have come through, for all the viewers, and especially grateful to the great guests that we've had throughout, the start of the podcast until now. And we've got a couple of outstanding guests here, Rausha. Why don't you introduce them?
Yep, indeed. Very outstanding guests. It's the guests who make this show, and we've lined up two special guests for episode number 50. Irfan Fandi and Ikhsan Fandi join us fresh from their sojourn in Singapore, back in Thailand now. Irfan, Ikhsan, thank you so much for joining us. How are you guys doing? Irfan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us again. I think it's the second time I'm on this show, and you guys have grown immensely, and it's amazing to be here and amazing to contribute to you guys.
Thanks for having us, guys. Yeah, as Irfan mentioned, the channel has been growing a lot, and yeah, it's really nice to see that people are supporting us and you guys.
Yeah, we finally have. We really appreciate the fact that you guys have taken the time to speak to us and have been on this show before, and we finally have the both of you, and we can sort of just figure out who's the quickest over 50 meters and 100 meters. We still got to set up that race, by the way. But before we get to that, Ikhsan, important question. A lot of people want to know, Ikhsan, how are the family jewels doing?
Oh, they're doing fine. Okay.
That's 2 thumbs up, and that's important, right? All right, let's get stuck in straight away to the recently concluded Tri-Nation series. In all honesty, the number of questions we got about those family jewels, I just have to get it out of the way. We're pleased to know it's good. Moving on to the Tri-Nations, a couple of very positive results against 2 different games against Malaysia and the Philippines. But all in all, a very successful week for Team Singapore. Irfan, what do you guys pick up from the international break?
I think we clearly see that even though we didn't have much time together, I think we have some sort of like connection from before with all the players. So when we were on the field, it came kind of naturally. I think all the coachings from like Tatsuma and every coach before it came into play, and especially the most of the experienced players, I think, came into part the most because they had to guide all of us, and I think they did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one as well. I mean, Ikhsan, for you, your goal scoring record up front, continuing to grow and get better. The 2 different matches and the 2 different oppositions was quite stark, the contrast, right? I think especially the Malaysia one was really entertaining for the fans, and I'm sure for you guys as well on the pitch. What were you expecting from this Malaysian side, and what was it like facing off against them, Ikhsan?
This is my first Causeway Derby, so it's really exciting for me. I was expecting them to come out, like against Philippines, like attack us, press us, but we managed to hold them off. I think our defense did really well, especially Irfan to hold off Akia, because I think he was the most dangerous man on the field. It was really exciting game. We had a plan and we stick to it, and it really paid off.
Irfan, have you checked your pockets yet for any Malaysian and Filipino attackers?
No lah. Don't say like that lah.
No, I'm just kidding, of course. I mean, I think both of you were excellent. But Irfan, what was it like for you playing in those 2 matches in terms of coming up against different styles and different approaches from both those teams?
I think you can see like both games are totally different. Like against Malaysia, they came out more than Philippines. I think also because Philippines had 10 men after a short period of time. So when we played against Malaysia, you can see the first few minutes of the game, I think we weren't settled. They came at us quite hard, and I think it gave us quite a shock. And so we had to like calm things down, start our passing game, try to control the game. I think that we did that really well in the first half. I think second half wasn't as good as the first half, keeping the ball and going forward. But I think we managed to get the win. But on the other side, when you see the Philippines game, it was more like we had possession of the ball 90% of the game. And so like we kind of like at points of time we didn't know what to do with the ball because they were just sitting back. And so we kept trying, and finally we got the goal. Yeah.
Both of you, just for my understanding, the last time Singapore was in action was against Indonesia, and that will go down historically as one of the greatest battles ever, right? But moving on from that, and then all the fans were excited and they showed up in the stadium to support the national team against Malaysia and Singapore. Within the team, was there any anxiety or discussion to set things right and put in a good performance to appease the fans?
I think every game we want to play well and show the fans what we have. But this game especially because it's a derby game, the fans will be expecting us to win, and it's a big game with high stakes. So I think all the players came out like with a good mindset and like the winning mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was interesting from the outside, from our outsiders' perspective, is there's a lot of talk about Singapore looking at the next national team head coach, right, after Tatsuma Yoshida left. Obviously, we haven't gotten confirmation of who's going to be the next head coach. And so this international break was pretty interesting. If one of the potential candidates, Irfan, was looking from the outside and watching your matches and watching the displays and the performances, what would they have learned from this Singapore team over that Tri-Nation series?
I think you can see that we never give up. I think that's the most important. You can see that I think after the Indonesia game, all of us realized that we have something, and if we keep pushing, I think there's always going to be a result for us. And so you can see in the Malaysia game, we conceded and then we scored again. And then the Philippines game, we kept trying for a second goal and it came. So I think all of us really don't give up, and I think that's really important. We have the fighting spirit.
Interesting. Ikhsan, anything to add on that front in terms of what the potential new coach might have looked out for?
I actually thought about this during the game, like while I was just jogging around, like against Malaysia. I was thinking like, oh, if the coach is watching, this is really good. We can keep the ball, we can score goal, and we defend really well. But on the other hand, versus Philippines, it's totally different game. And then I was a bit frustrated in that game because I wasn't so much involved. So it was a different feeling. Like I would think like the coach would think, oh, maybe he's not consistent.
Yeah.
But we managed to get the win, and the result is really important. And like what Irfan said, the don't like never give up spirit is there. So we can work on that and pull it to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, Ikhsan brings up a great point about, in the back of your mind, you're sometimes thinking about, who the next coach is going to be. Irfan, was that something that ever crossed your mind in this series of friendlies?
I think not really, because at the end of the day, the players are going to be on the pitch. The coach is there just tactically to sort us out. And so at the end of the day, it's up to us on the field to do the job, right? So whoever is behind the team, I feel, will input their knowledge, and it's for us to put it out onto the field.
Speaking of whoever's in charge, yes, we are looking forward to the permanent head coach being announced, but it was Nazri Nasir who took charge of the two games. What did Nazri even say to the boys in terms of building up to the game? Was there any talk about the upcoming Asian Cup qualifiers and building up to that? Ikhsan, perhaps you start with you on this.
Sorry, sir, I missed the question.
Hey, Raushan start talking only Ikhsan goes to sleep.
not the first time I've heard that. Let me repeat it. Nazri Nasir, in charge for these two games, yes?
Yep.
What did he say to the boys in terms of getting the job done, preparing for those June Asian Cup qualifiers? Was there any talk at all that we need to build a good foundation regardless of having a permanent head coach or not?
I don't think coach said too much about that, but during the meetings he always mentioned that when we come out we have to give out good performance for ourselves, for the people watching, for our fans, for our friends and family, give a good account of ourselves, and if we give our best we will get the result, and then we slowly progress on it and bring it to the qualifiers. Yeah.
So Irfan, from your perspective, what was the kind of the point of these series of friendlies, because if we don't have a head coach in there, whereas Malaysia have the head coach, so you can see that, the head coach comes in and he has an opportunity with these players. Was it just about getting match fitness? What kind of work did Nasir do with the team in the build-up to these games?
I think it was more of a time to just bring in the players, because if you have a huge time away from the national team and then you join back, I think it's not really a good thing for the players and also the national team and the fans and all. So it was good to bring in new players, especially to have a chance into the national team. I think it was a perfect time, especially like Shah and Taufik. After so long, I think they've been in form in the league, and so they deserve the chance. And this is a great time to test players out. And so that is one. And also, I feel like having these games are confident boosters. I mean, obviously, if you win, but if you lose, then it won't be. But at the same time, it's always good to play against strong opponents.
Actually, talk about new players there. I just want to quickly, I have to ask this. Ilhan and the two of you shared the same pitch, and it happened for the first time, and it was special for the fans. I'm sure it was special for your family as well. What was said in the household or in the family group chat after that momentous occasion?
It was just my mom and dad just said they were proud of us, like just the normal stuff. But not to sound cocky, but we know this moment will come. We just don't know when. And it was nice that it happened on that day against Malaysia and a win as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It must have been a really special moment for you guys, for the whole family. It's not we see a lot of footballing brothers, right? But it's normally a duo. We don't see many footballing brothers in a trio playing for the country. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Do you guys sort of get the sense that there's a lot of optimism and excitement around Singapore football now based on the reactions and the support you've seen for the last two matches?
I think it's crazy. I think the fans have been crazy and they've also been pushing us like mad. And so with the fans, I feel like we play so much better. And it's just really exciting to see the stadium full. Honestly, I didn't even expect Philippines to be like that because it was a weekday, people working. And so honestly, after the game against Malaysia, I was so shocked with the numbers. And then the next day, I was like to my roommate, I was like, maybe I don't think Philippines will be like that because it's a weekday, And then turns out it's like just as full, So it's crazy, great feeling.
Yeah, and Ikhsan, you look like you enjoyed yourself as well, especially after that Malaysia game.
Yeah, of course. The fans came down to support us. So I think as players, we need to interact with the fans a little bit as well, Just the cherry on top of the cake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly the fans turned out in droves, and so did you guys. And Ikhsan, that moment after the Malaysia game you enjoyed with the fans was special. I think the fans will hold it for a long, long time. Let's look ahead now to the Asian Cup qualifiers. There's still a couple of months to go, and a permanent coach will come in by then. But what do you think Singapore's chances are in that group with Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, and Myanmar?
I think it's a decent group. I think we have good chances, and anything can happen. But if we, like what Irfan say, we all are able to do the job, but we have to give 100% and give our best, and I think we will get some good results.
Yeah, Irfan, what you got any thoughts on that?
I think it's sort of the same. I think we played against Kyrgyz Republic before, and we should have drew that game, but the referee didn't give a last-minute goal. So obviously we can do the job, we can fight for it, and so we just have to come in 100% and never give up.
Yeah, so to me on the outside, it looks like it's a tough group because of Central Asian opposition. But you guys have that experience of playing against these teams. You guys are on the pitch with them. Do you all think the standard is kind of similar? Is that an easy question to answer for you, Irfan?
I would say the standard is, I feel like they're maybe a level up. It's just that maybe physically they come in stronger and faster. The game is much faster paced. And so that's where we lose out a little bit. But I feel if we have the confidence to keep the ball, then we won't play under their pace, and we can play under our pace. So that's another way we could play the game. Yeah.
Speaking of the playing squad, right? You look at the playing squad, yes, there are youngsters coming through, but the mainstay, the backbone, the Harises, the Safwans, the Hassans, the Shadans are all in their 30s, other side of 30. So is this perhaps the best chance for Singapore to do well in the Asian Cup?
Yeah, I think so. All the players you mentioned are really experienced, and those players help play a big role in our last two wins against Malaysia and Philippines. So we're not counting on them, but yes, they are key players in the squad. And if they are at the top of their game and everybody else is, we have bigger chances of winning and qualifying.
All right, excellent, man. Great opportunity for you guys to make a bit of history for Singapore in the qualifiers. No pressure, still a long way to go. Let's move on now to talk about the club that you guys are playing for, BG Pathum United. And I think it's just fascinating and blows my mind really that you guys are playing for that club together and doing really well. First of all, I have to ask, what's it like playing with your brother at the same club and seeing him day in, day out? Anybody? I'll throw this up. Whoever wants to answer first, go for it.
It's good. I think we always spoke before about like playing together, and finally, I wouldn't count Young Lions because that's a step up to the league. But I think we spoke about it before and to play in the same team, and finally it came true. And it's good, because it was easier for him to come to Thailand. I could help him out a lot regarding like how the culture is and everything. So he's still done really well, and also because it's good that he gets to drive to training every day. I just sit in the car.
Ikhsan is the family chauffeur, is it?
No lah,
We take turns. We take turns.
actually we rotate like one day. But yeah, it just feels natural. Like easier to, like what he said, easier to settling and feel natural, and it's not like a big thing, you know. It's yeah. I don't know. Natural is the word to describe
Yeah.
it.
How did Ikhsan? How did Irfan help you sort of settle? You know, on and off the pitch. What are the things that he has helped you out with?
Yeah, like he said, like the culture, you know, like the greetings, you know, and outside the field, like where to get the food, how he goes about his day, like supermarket, all these essential things that I need to know, you know, like should I take Grab or not, or take the flight guy downstairs, like all these things, and water, everything. So it's just like little essential tips that I need. But now I'm kind of settled in already. I know what to do. But yeah.
Do you guys hang out a lot off the pitch as well, or do you give each other some breathing room and some breathing space?
Yeah, we go for dinner sometime.
Yeah, time to time.
Yeah.
And can I just ask this question quickly? Oh, Ikhsan, we lost him. He said something.
I
What was
said
that?
2 levels above me.
2 levels was me. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you all have a favorite Thai dish already?
Mine is krapao. It's the easiest. Simple.
I don't know. I just eat rice and egg on top for me.
Okay. You mentioned greetings there. Do you speak Thai? Not fluently, of course, but can you get by speaking Thai?
I don't know.
I can't speak Thai, but I mean when they're talking around in the changing room, sometimes I pick up some words and then I kind of like just interpret what they're talking about. So some words I can understand slowly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not on that level yet.
No, that's why it wasn't directed at Ikhsan. I imagine you going there a few months and then speaking a language is quite difficult to learn.
I think there was a video that BG PU put up on Instagram where Ikhsan was speaking Thai with the guidance of one of the Thai players. It was quite fun to watch. I mean, give it a few years, man, you'll be good. And Irfan, for now, if there's any gossip in Thai, just fill him in. But moving on back to Ikhsan, we know your brother being there might have played a big part in you wanting to come to BGPU. But apart from that, after spending time in Europe, what was your reason or thought process behind coming back to Asia?
I think at that time I needed a new challenge. You know, I wasn't getting so much playing time in Yev and BG. You know, it's a big team with a lot of big and experienced star players, and I know I can benefit from them and learn from them and improve and grow as a player. And I think slowly, with all the support from the club, they're showing me a lot of support and really helping me to try to develop me as best as they can. I'm growing and I'm scoring goals, so everything is going smoothly right now. Yeah.
Irfan, this is probably a question for you since you've been there longer. What's the setup like at the club in terms of helping players to be the best that they can be?
Easiest said is we have the best facilities in Asia. I think Ikhsan is very lucky when he first stepped in. And he stepped into the new facility and it's amazing. I think if any one of you can see this, it's crazy. I mean, we have so many masseuse. Every day you can have massage. You have treatment room, you have gym, you have sauna, hot bath. Everything is there for you. You just need to do it, And you also have like analysts who go after your games, send you videos of your own games, and that can help. You can watch it after the games to improve yourself. So we have everything laid out for us. It's just if you want it or not.
Yeah, and I think that's important for fans out there who don't perhaps realize that there are some super clubs in Southeast Asia who actually perhaps have a much better infrastructure than what you would have at some clubs in Europe, right? Ikhsan, I mean, I remember when we spoke about your time when you were playing for Yev, you said that sometimes, the gym, not to knock Yev or anything like that, but just the differences in the infrastructures and facilities available.
I think it's misconception. I was having a chat with a taxi driver the other day and he was like, "Oh, why you come back Asia, blah blah blah." But I was telling him like that in BG and some parts of Asia, like JDT, LCS is now building BG and some other clubs, the infrastructure, facilities and other parts is better than what you get in Europe, So it's nice to see, and it really helps the player. Like what Irfan said, everything is there for you off the field. On the field, you just need to do your job, focus, and then you can improve.
Yeah, it's fascinating to hear. I remember speaking to Ikhsan the last time, and when he told us that, I was in disbelief almost that Singapore or Asian facilities might be better than Europe. So it's good to see both of you settling in well at BGPU. When we spoke to Irfan previously, he mentioned the likes of Victor Cardozo and Andres Tunes having good relationship with them. Ikhsan, have you established any good relationships with any members of the playing squad?
Yes, same people, Diogo, Victor, Tunes, Chicha, Ernesto, like this is the foreigner bunch. But yeah, especially Tunes, I think he's like the papa of the team, we call him. So he's been, and he sits next to me in the dressing room as well. So we talk a lot, and yeah, he's been a big help. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. That's really great to hear. You got such experienced players around. I mean, even the likes of Tirasin and Diogo in the squad. For you as a striker, Ikhsan, that must be, for you as a young striker, it must be like gold dust, right? Picking off these tips from these experienced players.
Yeah, definitely in training, you can see the quality these two players have, and especially Diogo, like, because he can speak English, I can speak to him more. Like, he gives me tips on the field as well. Sometimes he just tell me to be calm, just be in position, be ready, like small details. And I think it really helps a lot.
That's interesting. Irfan, have you had to come up against your brother in training sessions? Is he difficult to deal with?
He's difficult, but he hasn't beaten me yet. I think only once. Only once he tried to shoot and I blocked. That's all. Other times he's always my team, so I've never played against him.
Ikhsan, can you verify what Irfan is saying is true?
I don't remember, sorry.
Safe answer, guys. Safe answer. Irfan, just coming to you next. You've been at the club BGPU for a while, and you've been through various different coaches. Now at the helm is Makoto Tegu Romori. How has his approach changed, and how much are you enjoying life under the new coach?
I think him and the previous coach Vidmar had a little bit of the same kind of structure and playing style. He likes getting the through ball, like beating passes that beat the defense or passes that beat the midfield, and that's how you build up with 1-2 passing, a lot of like D runs and stuff like that. But I feel like the new coach is very more structured in trainings. Like, he has everything planned out. Like, today he wants this to be accomplished, and everything he does like that, And so I think it's a very Japanese thing. Like, they're very structured people and very detailed. So that's how I think he's a really good coach. Yeah. But also Vidmar before for me was top, one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, Vidmar, lots of players speak about him and say he's an outstanding coach. How is Tegura Mori in terms of his man management, in terms of his dealing with players?
Very super nice. I think he doesn't speak too good of English, but he has a translator, and also his assistant coach. He used to work in Manchester United in the UK, and so he speaks fluent English, so he helps us a lot. Wow. So they're all super nice. I mean, Japanese people are really nice people. To be fair, like, so all of them, like, they know how to control the players, and they always tell us, like, if it's too much for you in the trainings, like, you can actually tell them, and they lower, like, cater to yourself. And so it's good. It's really good.
Brilliant. And Ikhsan, for you in the short time that you've been there as a forward, how has he sort of helped you with your game?
Yeah, he's very detailed, like what Irfan mentioned. So sometimes he will talk to you personally one-on-one. For me, as striker, he wants me to make runs, be a threat, be in position to score. That's the main thing, to be in position to score, because the service will be there. We have Tang and Mickey and Inch, so good creative players. So I just need to be there and finish it off.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned runs, and you mentioned the running and the off-the-ball movement. I posted something on my Twitter about the first goal that you scored against Malaysia, where you sort of ran away a little bit to create that space and then cutting inside. Is that something that you learned as a young striker, or is that something that you've picked up and developed on more in your professional career?
I think it's kind of both. It's just, sometimes in the game you have a chance to do it, but you don't. So it's to be more consistent and like lock it into your brain, like every time the ball is there, to do this kind of runs. Because in my head, I was just trying to make a round so that Corbin couldn't see where I'm coming from when I attack. So it worked. Like what you said, I think I saw your tweet, like on the last one that he looked, I went in. It wasn't my intention, but it was just my intention to when Song is going to pass the ball. So I was looking at Song most of the time to
excellent.
Hit the cross.
Yeah, I mean, I love these little bits of insight from the players in the game, why they make these sorts of decisions. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, the thought process is really fascinating, especially when Roche has picked it up and Ikhsan conquers, right? Irfan, we'll come back to BGPU and the season you're having. You're moving towards the end of the season. Looks unlikely that the title will come to fruition, but second place looks secured. A couple of exits in the cup competitions as well. So overall, how would you rate the club's season this year?
I think it was a really tough year for us. I mean, coming down from being champion, I think that's the hardest thing to remain champions, right? And so I feel like we still did really well considering of all the things we had. Like we have a few managers in and out, many changes in and out of the team, and so with that, I feel like it's not okay to be second. Like we still could be at the top, but it's good enough for this season. The most important now is just to secure second place for ACL next year, and that's our goal. And I think we've done a great job. Yeah,
that's good. Well, what do you guys think of your respective campaigns? You know, Ikhsan, you've been only been there for a short period of time. But let's start with you, and then we'll go to Irfan. What do you think of your performances for BGPU in the time that you've been there?
I think they've been all right. You know, I'm doing my job. I feel scoring goals, but of course, in some games we need to be more clinical. You know, like we have a lot of draws, a few draws that could have changed the outcome of the standings. So this type of small things, but overall, I think we're doing good, and we need to focus for the ACL now. It's the biggest stage now for all of the players.
And Irfan, how do you think you've done in your time at BGPU? How have you developed on a personal level?
I think this year has been really good for me. I didn't miss out as much as last year due to injury last year. So this year I've been learning a lot. I think I've been getting a lot of starts also this season and learning a lot. We also changed from back 3 to back 4 this year. And so I get to learn the new formation, and it's good. I think I learned a lot this year. Just now trying to keep my fitness up for the ACL and also for the upcoming Asian Cup. Yeah.
I think both of you touched on the upcoming ACL campaign. How important is that tournament, not just for the club, but for both of you personally to grow? We'll start with Ikhsan, perhaps.
It'll be my first, and I know it's a big competition. Many eyes will be watching. Good platform to show myself and for the team, everybody, you know. So I think everybody will be wanting to be at their best, you know. So like what Irfan say, I gotta be ready, be fit, be healthy, you know, and prepare well for this ACL, this period. Just football, recover, and go again.
Oh, Irfan's left the building. Ikhsan, we'll stay with you. I don't know, Raushan,
can you leave outside? Leave outside. Yeah, leave outside.
Because I heard a doorbell as well.
I think that's lunch on the way. Room service just arrived.
Wait.
Do you remember the last time we had Ilhan on the podcast? He dropped out because he got a call from someone in the car or something like that.
And he was in a car in a car park somewhere.
Thank you.
I'm so tempted to leave this part in. What's for lunch, Irfan?
Sorry.
No problem at all, man. I think we should
chicken curry.
I think we should.
Okay, Ikhsan is next. Ikhsan
is next.
Okay, since Ikhsan is next, Ikhsan, when the food comes, please go and collect it. Irfan, ACL campaign coming up. How excited are you to learn and grow in that competition? Because as Ikhsan alluded to, it's a big stage.
Honestly, it's huge. I played in it. I only played one game in the ACL, and it was a knockout game. Yeah, it was really amazing. I think the most important is it's a huge step to get out of Asian football. You can go to like Korea, Europe, because there's so many agents watching. So it's a great stage for players, and so I really want to do really well. I want to be at the top of my game for that, and so hopefully we do well in the ACL for myself and also the team.
Actually, that's brilliant. A brilliant segue, because you mentioned you played just that one knockout game, right? Against it was against John Book, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
And that was like enough for you to be linked to be linked to it with John Book. So I kind of want to ask you guys about your plans career-wise as well, in terms of where you see your game going and where you sort of see your careers going. Irfan, why don't we start with you, since you've been at BGPU for a while, and then we'll get Ikhsan's thoughts.
I still have my goals to play in the Europe or even a bigger league, maybe Japan, Korea, you know. But like the last opportunity I had was quite hard to go because of the fee that the club had to pay. So that was one stepping stone that got knocked down. But I still believe that I can go somewhere, and so I'm gonna take this ACL and to go further. I give my best, and I believe I will go further soon.
So what was that like? Were there actually concrete talks between you and John Book, or between the club and John Book? And how were you disappointed that the move sort of fell through?
Yeah, I mean, there was actually like talks going on, like going through my dad and also through the club, asking if I really wanted to go and stuff like that. But again, the amount of money that was asked was crazy, so couldn't really go through with it. But until today, I think my dad still has someone talking to a few clubs in Korea, and so
that's brilliant, man. And of course, you look to take the opportunity to go, right? If it came again.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Ikhsan, what about you?
Haven't thought about it so much because now I'm new to BG and I want to prove myself in the Thai league first. But of course, I always think about going back to Europe, same like Irfan, and of course, like leagues like Japan, Korea is there calling as well. But for now, I just focus on the Thai league and BG and try to prove myself here and make a name for myself here in the ASEAN region, and then see where it takes me.
Yeah, are there, speaking of, perhaps moving over to Japan or Korea and the likes of Chanatip going from Thailand and really establishing himself in J1, are there players like him or players out there that you guys sort of look up to and think that, they've sort of carved the pathway? Do you have sort of like any idols out there, any players that you kind of admire?
I mean, for Chanatip,
not really.
Like
a big one.
Ikhsan, you?
No, I was just saying that I think for Chanatip, he's paved the way for Thai players,
Yeah.
There's many youngsters in the Thai national team coming up, like Super Chok, Super Nat, all these players. So it's good for them. And for us Singaporeans, we'll make our own path,
You mentioned that those Thai players paving the way for other Thai players. As Singaporeans, both of you have paved the way for various younger players, because when we speak to the likes of Jacob, to the likes of Saifullah, they dream of playing in Thailand. Do you at all think that will happen in the near future?
Definitely.
I think yes. I think if let's say they get to the international stage and they play well, it's that easy to come to the Thai league because you have the slot, the 3 slot for ASEAN. So that's a huge boost for ASEAN players. And you can see like, okay, now me and my brother is here, but before this, there were many Singaporeans here as well. And so it's quite, it's a bigger chance for ASEAN players to come to Thailand. And Singapore, we have quality players and it's a chance for them.
Yeah, and especially because they're young as well, like Jacob, as mentioned, Saifullah, and many coming up. They're young, talented players. So if they show themselves, I think now SEA Games is another platform for
SEA Games is a good time.
Yeah. How does it ever happen in the world of football that players themselves, like you guys, sometimes go to club coaches or when you speak to the club chairman or president or whatever, you say, hey, this guy from Singapore, recommend any sort of players. Does that happen? I'm not saying if you guys have done it, but is that something that goes on behind the scenes?
Sure. I think
it's behind the scenes for a reason, Rosh. You're not meant to ask.
I mean, like Irfan, for Ikhsan, for example, did people ever come and ask you about him and
Yeah, before he came to BG, they're always asking about him.
Yeah,
like, exactly what you said, like just talking like us, like what's he going, where is he? So there is this kind of talks, and that's probably how Ikhsan came to the team, But also, other than that, like we don't really talk about other outside players. I don't really think the coaches also ask about these players. I think if they were to do that, they would ask the management, But unless they really know of this player and they know that you're close to them, maybe they'll ask you.
Okay. Thanks for just following up on my question. No, didn't mean to put you all in a tough spot. Here's a very tactical timing of my drink. Go carry on.
Yep, he asked the difficult question and throw me on the bus. Look, boys, it's been great having the both of you. As you know, we put up some fans' questions and the response has been tremendous, unsurprisingly. Plenty of which we've already covered in the conversation. So I've picked out just a few to ask. Ikhsan, I'm going to come to you first. That celebration, the greedy, I believe they call it, with Ilhan after that second goal against Malaysia, was that planned at all?
No. If you watch the video, Ilhan was the one that initiated it. He was like, greedy. And so we just did it. Yeah. He was like, there's a comment that said, oh, when your brother is more excited to celebrate than the actual score. Yeah.
but clearly you've rehearsed it before because you guys were in sync, man. Once the cue came up.
No, I don't know. It's just natural.
Natural. Can you since we're on that topic, can you talk us through that goal, that thought process? Like, did you know in your mind that once you got the ball, this is what you were going to do, or did it come naturally?
It came naturally. I think I used natural too much, but well, because I don't know. I wanted the ball from Nas to try to make something happen, because that period of time already in my head, all I was thinking about was assist to Ilhan, give Ilhan an assist.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted the ball to try to dribble down the byline and give Ilhan or something like that. But when the defenders came out one by one, I just like slowly move it away, and I saw a pocket of space to take a shot.
Yeah. And then when that opportunity opened up, you realize, forget Ilhan. I'm just going to go for goal.
Yeah.
Well, I think the celebration matched the goal almost, man. That was a brilliant goal and a very exciting celebration to match. Irfan, we'll come to you for the next question. It's submitted by Zarfan Rohaizat, as well as a few others who got the same question. Don't worry, it's not a tough question. It's a very kosher question. What keeps you going in life, and what are your biggest motivations?
Oh, I think what keeps me going, like, probably I think my parents, I think they're one of the biggest people who push me in my football. Especially I think my dad and my mom. My mom supports every game. She's always trying to watch as many games as she can. And so I want to give my best and try to give back to the family. But at the same time, I also like doing well and seeing everybody happy for me is a great motivation. So I keep that pushes me to work hard.
Yeah. Can we get an answer from Ikhsan as well on the same question?
Yeah, like what Irfan said, is my family, you know, and everybody has been supporting us since young. I know my parents have a lot of sacrifices. You know, we've been overseas, spent a lot of money for trips and all this. So playing well, and especially the three of us on the same field that night, I think it's really special for my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly would have been special. Let's move on to the third question by @TDK21I. Interesting username. At this age, do the two of you still quarrel?
No, not really.
Not really, yeah.
No. Not at all, actually. Nothing
so there's nothing that you find annoying about each other. Look at me trying to really turn the
different apartments, so it's okay.
Yeah. If you stay together, maybe you got problem.
Okay, there's another question which I decided to omit, but I'm going to ask anyway. Is Ilhan annoying?
Yeah, he's damn annoying.
Yeah, he's annoying. But it's like
annoying.
He gave like lively energy to the team, to the people around him. So it's that kind of annoying, like, you know, he's still not so mature, but yeah, it's needed in a team, you know, to boost.
Okay. Moving on to our fourth question. This is with regards to one of your national team colleagues. Describe Hassan Sani in one word. Irfan, will start with you.
One word, cannot. Three. Okay, Ministry of Defense. I call it a Ministry of Defense. This guy is aging like fine wine. Oh my god, he's getting better and better. I don't know when. I was talking to Zarfan the other day. Then I said, "Fun, how long more are you gonna sit down? You know, this guy is still gonna play in." Then Zarfan also said to me, like, I don't know, man, this guy's still flying. Cannot. But all in good talks, you know. Even Zarfan is so happy that he's playing like that. So
yeah. What's it like playing in defense in front of Hassan?
Yeah, I feel very safe, you know. Like sometimes, let's say we have a lapse, but he's always there. Like the hard shots, like the ball's at the top corner. I don't know how he jumps and saves. Like, it's crazy. This guy is on top of his game right now, and he's on his peak, I feel.
Can I ask you another thing? Because sometimes some goalkeepers, right, when they have to save a shot, after that they like to wayang and shout at the defenders for not blocking the shot and all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes he doesn't, because I'm like, sometimes you just feel like turning around to them and say, do your job. You're supposed to save shots. Does that happen with you?
No, he would just like look at us. And then he was like, I feel like not many times he would have to save like the point blank, like I think most of the ones that he saves like really far out and then like top corner where other people cannot do anything except him. And so like that's why I say he's top of his game, because these are the important ones, you know. Yeah.
Ikhsan, your one word?
Superman. That was the first one that came to my head because
Superman.
Superman.
Before I call him Superman, but after that, everybody say Ministry of Defense, right? So now he Ministry of Defense.
I like the anecdote with Irfan as well. You are right. With Hassan at the top of his game, it's a good problem to have, by the way. All right,
Yeah, it's a good problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I was watching the game, covering that game, and I saw Etheridge and I saw Hassan, and I think to myself also, I think I don't know if there's too much of a big difference between those two, you know?
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just about opportunity and where you are at that point in your career.
That's
Sorry,
right.
that just allow this old uncle his thoughts on that. Yeah.
Roshan woke up today and chose to be chatty, and that's good for the podcast. All right, let's move on to the final question. Various submissions. Many people want to know. Can the both of you speak Malay?
Boleh.
Can speak.
Can speak.
Yeah, of
Can
course.
you show us your ability to speak in Malay?
If
I mean, Ikhsan already has by saying boleh. Perhaps Irfan, you can
I
give
say,
the
I
fans
can
a
say
greeting.
nama saya Irfan Fandi. Saya umur 24. Yeah, I can. But it's easier when I talk with friends, you know, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't I understand everything lah.
And is Malay
Okay.
spoken at all in your household?
No.
not really.
English always.
Yeah, English always.
But
All right.
to
Carry on,
teammates,
Ikhsan. Sorry, Ikhsan. Carry on.
no, to teammates sometimes we speak Malay, but it's like natural, just talking like back and forth. But when somebody says, "Hey, speak Malay," we're like,
Okay. More conversational. I completely understand that.
Actually, Irfan, I saw something you did with I don't know whether it was Surya or Berita Harian. or
Berita
something.
Harian lah.
Yeah, when you were you
Well,
remember
in
this,
NS, right?
You know
In
this,
NS,
right?
right?
I was forced to do it. That's why it was so like staged, you know.
So,
Cannot. I
so-
told them, hey, I want to speak English. They say,
Yeah.
no, you need to speak Malay because Berita Harian. Yeah. Then they tell me exactly what to say, like. So I had to repeat lah what they say.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's how it went. Because I thought it was really good. And you look good, man, in your uniform, you know.
That one uniform see in office only.
Guys, it's been absolutely fabulous having the chance to speak to both of you on the 50th episode of the Rated RR podcast. With the travel lanes open now, we hope to see you back in Singapore more often than not. The fans will love it. We are very, very grateful that you spent time to speak to the fans, and we are glad that the Rated RR podcast gave you a platform to do so. Anything you'd like to say to the fans before we round up this interview?
I think I want to say that you guys have been amazing, and you guys are really the backbone of the team. I think with your support, we can go even further, and we wish that you keep coming down to the games and supporting us, and we'll give the same back in our performances.
yeah, same to the fans. Just keep coming down, support us, and every game we'll try to do our best for you, and support us.
Oh man, that is like such a great way to end things, but I cannot help myself. I feel like I have one more thing that I need to
This
just
guy.
ask. We asked you all to describe Hassan Sunny in one word, right? Can you describe each other in one word? Who wants to go first?
Beast for Irfan.
I say
Beast.
Ikhsan is clinical.
Okay.
Clinical. Yeah, he only had 2 chances, against Malaysia. Go look at the stats.
Oh man, he was a hero.
2
Yeah.
2 chances, 2 goals. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you describe Roshan in one word, because he's been so chatty today?
Then you can say lah, talkative.
They might have thought of another word to use, which they're just trying to be nice.
Look, boys, it's been fabulous. We wish you all the best for the remainder of your year in Thailand, as well as the upcoming AFC Champions League. Thank you so much for making time. Listeners, viewers, do like, share, and subscribe to the Rated RR podcast. We're on to 50. We're aiming for 100. We hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Thank you so much.